From the Middle is proud to be a founding member of Odd Pods Media. Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 320, if you can believe it, of From the Middle, a comedy, culture, entertainment, and interview style podcast hosted by three middle-class guys in the middle of America in the middle chapters of their lives with points of view that generally fall somewhere in the middle. If you're listening to this episode on an empty stomach, this is a warning, not that we will make you sick, but rather we're probably going to make you hungry because we talk a lot about food in this one, which will come to no surprise to our loyal listeners. We learn about some interesting food modifications happening in the world that some of us knew about and some of us didn't, which leads into a conversation about other fun food modifications. And then a really interesting article about the most popular sandwiches by state. Fascinating stuff. We wrap up with a conversation about what's going on in the world of artificial intelligence, everyday carry, as well as technology advancements. Hope you enjoy listening to this one. 2 out of the 3 of us had a really fun time recording. One of us wasn't feeling so great.
Oh, for the love. Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
From the Middle after dark over here.
Okay, so I'm coming in hot, guys. I got to talk to you about this. So Sherry had her annual girls' weekend with her sister. They
Fun.
typically find a cabin near Amish country or Hocking Hills or somewhere like that. And which it selfishly is good for me because she always brings back a lot of Amish foods and goodies. So she came back Monday afternoon and said, "Hey, I got dinner for everybody. I got like fresh Amish bread, nice quality Amish deli meats, tons of cheeses. And we're going to just do like subs for dinner." And I was like, sounds good. As she's cooking up the bacon, by the way, she gets the bacon ends because it's like less than half the cost of the nicely sliced bacon. You just get like some fattier pieces, but if you're making bacon bits, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And she goes, "Hey, let's just do a chopped sub." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "You've never heard of this?" And I said, "You've heard of this?" She goes, "You take all the toppings, your lettuce, your cheese, your mayo, your tomatoes. And some people even say the meats. We'll get into the debate, but you just chop it all up so that way you get every flavor in every bite as opposed to the traditional layered approach." And I had never heard of this. Like, I was like, "Where are you seeing this? Instagram, YouTube?" She's like, "Yeah, just places." I didn't even know this was a thing. Can you guys weigh in?
Yeah. I feel like I've seen this in reels. If I pay attention to reels, it's almost always funny or food. And I feel like the food reels have been throwing this at my algorithm for a year-ish, but I've never tried it. I don't know why I haven't tried it. I don't know if any sub places that I get subs from will do it. I assume they all will if you ask. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it sounds great in theory.
Yeah. This is one of those things that I think is testament to like how algorithms work, right?
Yeah.
Because like for Dillon apparently, but also for me, like so I'm not, YouTube is the closest thing to any kind of social media that I use. And YouTube at this point, if I scroll through my YouTube, pretty much everything is either a gun video or a cooking video. And so like I get a lot of cooking content and I watch a lot of cooking content. I'm guessing, Corey, that you don't seek out a lot of cooking or food content.
That's true.
So that's why. But,
okay.
Yeah, no, it is a thing. My general understanding or recollection of me seeing this happening is that it does include the meat. Like that's part of the whole thing. So you're basically making like a chopped ham salad kind of thing and putting it on bread. or whatever your meats are. And I've had watching those, I've had thoughts. I've seen Amy do it before. Like we're making sandwiches and like she just starts chopping hers up and I'm like, oh, you're doing that thing. And so she has done it. I have yet to try it, but
Sherry even hollowed out some of her sub bread.
yeah, a la Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's or Subway to have less bread, and then it made like a little boat for, like, if you're supposed to include the meat, which I didn't. For some reason that just felt weird. Like
That's a
I don't
step
know
too
why.
far.
I don't know why. Like I wanted to layer the meats. I had roast beef and off the bone ham, thinly sliced, like almost falls apart, like gold
Yeah.
leaf off the bone ham. And I was like, for some reason that feels too far. Like I want. Otherwise, why not just chop up the bread or just pour my Diet Coke in a bowl and just eat it with a
Okay, that's not a
spoon?
reasonable analogy.
Oh well, where do we stop with this madness? If we're gonna
What's
include the
What's important to me is not whether you chop the meat or not, although I agree with Kendall. I think that is the default setting.
Yes.
What's important to me is that you still need to pre-portion the ingredients so you're not haphazardly chopping things that the ratios way off.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if
So
you
what?
put eight slices of deli turkey on your sandwich, you're still pulling 8 slices of deli turkey out for your sandwich.
Yeah. So what I've seen specifically is, and they probably do this for aesthetic purposes, but you basically build your sandwich only instead of on top of a piece of bread, you do it on top of a cutting board.
Yep, and then you get the
and
rocker.
then you chop it all up. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I've seen is some of the pros. It's reminiscent of Jersey Mike's. They do like the seasonings. They make sure to still season it like they would. They'll do a little olive oil or vinaigrette or something to like not just do like straight mayo. They're getting all the other good stuff in there. Also, when you were saying you don't watch cooking videos, I imagine Sebastian and Pete talking about this conversation and Pete being very annoyed. Like, you're not watching cooking videos, bro. Get them into your algos. Like, you would be so annoyed that you're not watching good cooking videos.
Kendall's
Yeah.
verbiage in his question was, do I seek them out? There's what I will get is like the crazy sandwiches, which sounds funny because I'm now saying I'm not getting chopped sub videos. Crazy sandwiches or like unique takes on things. I'll get reels of those
Mhm.
because I share them a lot. I'm like, have you seen this? But I don't know how chopped subs miss me. And I don't know what's going on in our household because tonight, so that was Monday, tonight for dinner, we have what Sherry calls unstuffed egg rolls, which is just a bunch of cabbage, ground and seasoned turkey, and carrots with some sauce, and you just eat it out of a bowl. So there's no shell around it or anything you're putting it on. You're just eating the contents of an egg roll. It's one of our favorites.
That
It's
sounds
so simple.
fantastic. A quick question about that. Is there any kind of like a crunch or a deep fried anything sprinkled into it? Or is it like just the innards?
It's just the innards, and that's the one thing I
That's-
feel like you could throw even some wonton strips on top.
Yeah.
So it's very hot coming out of her nice Le Creuset dish. Just throw some like crunchy wontons on top. Sometimes I'll even warm up a tortilla. But now I'm just making a giant egg roll. So
Yeah.
You're making an egg roll burrito, which is one step away from a crab rangoon burrito.
Which does exist. So after we talked last week, I looked it up and it does exist. Restaurants are doing this. It almost, my concern though is this goes back to what Jeremy Kester said a long time ago, is when he's talking about content, sometimes it's a question of portion. Like, what is the appropriate serving size? There are movies that should have been shows. There are books that could have been a blog post. There are blog posts that could have been a meme. I'm concerned that the crab rangoon guts are too rich to have so much of. So how do you mute them just slightly?
Well, listen, there's these days, like if you go to the place that I've been to, what's the one that's like the Chinese fast food chain that's everywhere that people love?
Panda?
Panda Express. I hate Panda Express.
Okay.
I love fast food Chinese food stuff. hate Panda Express. I've been there like twice in my life. And what I do know about them is that they don't even call their crab rangoon. They're honest about it, and they call it like a cream cheese rangoon.
Yeah.
I think that's what you do.
Okay.
Somewhere out there, there's an originator for the crab rangoon who's rolling over in his grave thinking like, you guys aren't putting nearly enough crab in these things. And I feel like today's crab rangoon probably isn't the same thing as a crab rangoon a decade ago.
True.
I think you fix that glitch.
There you go.
And I think you've got it.
I think the other thing too is sometimes, like I think in your head you might be thinking of the Chipotle wrap burrito that's short and really dense, but you just need to like stretch the tortilla out when you roll it, and then you're not getting like, you can kind of slow roll or cut it in half. It's longer and skinnier.
Something like a elongated crunch wrap.
Yeah. Like a
if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, the hand gestures over the last 45 seconds alone
have been important,
and you're missing out. We love that you're listening in your car on the way to work, but just all the
the other thing is for your egg roll thing, by the way, they make wonton chips. Not just strips. You need to do the chips.
That's it as a dip. That's a good idea. Nice.
We need to open a restaurant, boys.
Yep.
This is good. I'm thinking when you go to a white linen Chinese restaurant, and you get those handmade, really crabby crab rangoons, and the consistency of that is just rich. It's just very flavorful. I think a whole burrito of that, elongated or not, you don't think that would be too much?
I definitely want to try it to answer that question thoroughly.
Okay.
That's my answer.
All right.
So I think one thing I saw, I don't remember who served it, doesn't matter, but it was an appetizer, and it was like longer, kind of dense taquitos with like chicken, cheese. And they would do like 3 or 4 long ones, but then cut them all in half and serve them on a platter with like dipping sauces. And I think that's the way you could do crab rangoon burritos, like longer, cut in half with like sweet and sour dipping sauce or whatever. And it's like a shareable, but that's maybe a way to do it. And then the people who don't want a whole one, now Kendall and I can just order a whole one, and then we'll take that home with us if we don't like what we ordered. But the people that just want to share can share the appetizer version with their spinach dip.
There it is.
Do you guys have any other fun modifications that you do at your home, entree or not? Like Sherry has begun taking cinnamon roll dough and putting it on the waffle iron and making cinnamon roll waffles with like the white drizzle instead of syrup. That's so good. You guys do any other fun things?
I can't think of any sort of family staples or things that are unique to us.
Middlers, this is your opportunity. Comment below or DM us or call us, text us. We have a phone number in our bio. We would love to hear if there's any fun things that we should be trying like this, where you kind of reinvent the wheel, so to speak.
I would say, I've talked about it before, almost everything at my house will probably get tried in a tortilla. So where Kendall's game is, will it omelet? Mine is, will it tortilla? And I just shove it in a tortilla. The other day I had a little bit of like spaghetti left over, and the sauce was really good. And there was a lot of sauce. I'm like, what could I dump into this that would be good? So I found we had some like pepperoni, and then I took a string cheese, and I'm like, all this can just get dumped in a tortilla. Like a little cheese, pepperoni, sauce, a little bit of noodles left, little burrito, mini burrito, and I'll nuke it so the string cheese gets soft and melty. And I did, and it was great. So yeah, whatever you want to try in a tortilla, I've probably tried at my house.
Yeah, I love that. I have started doing so I like spicy ramen, and then but again, the idea, like I contrived from watching YouTube, there's this whole series on YouTube of professional chefs showing what they do to ramen for themselves at home. And a popular version is to make peanut butter ramen. And so
Is that with sriracha?
you can use sriracha, and essentially like you cook it in the broth. But then you don't really use the broth. You take the noodles out after they're done cooking, put them in a separate bowl, and then you put peanut butter on top and some sriracha. And then like some of the spicy ramens and other ramens come with like dehydrated vegetables and stuff like that. Like you put those on there and then mix that all together. And that is it's remarkable. So I have been doing that lately.
Fun food modifications. What else have you guys been doing lately outside of food modifications? What's going on in your lives? Are you guys having a hard time getting into 2026? Because I am. It's like a slow coming out of the holidays.
Yeah, the coldness and sickness going around doesn't help. But I have an unrelated question to 2026 so far that I did want to ask. I don't know if you guys ever share this sentiment. Sometimes I'm generally like a pretty content guy, and if I want to purchase something, I typically take a long time to think about it. But every now and then, I call what I would describe as I feel spendy. I'm I just kind of hit a mood where I'm like, I just want to buy something. And that doesn't happen very often, so I don't normally feel bad about the urge. And I don't even always indulge the urge. In fact, probably more often than not, I don't find anything that I'm like, ooh, that would be fun. It's not about size of purchase. It's not about dollar amount of purchase. It's just like, what's a little thing that seems cool? So sometimes when I'm in that feeling spendy phase, I'll see those articles, right? Like the 30 coolest tech tools to give in 2026.
Yeah.
Or like these Amazon, like most beloved, highest rated, whatever. And so I normally gloss right over those. But every now and then, my algos will start kicking some of those in. It's like it knows, it senses like Dillon's credit card out. And so I'll, I'll hit some of those links. And by the way, so many ads on those sites, it's awful, almost unusable. But I'll go through some of those lists, and I can't remember like I'll put stuff every now and then. I'll take something and I'll put it like in a cart, Amazon cart, and just decide later if I want it. I feel like I've hit so many of those tech lists in the last 3-6 months just to see what's out there and like what people are talking about. None of it's interesting. First of all, do you ever get what I would call, do you ever feel spendy? If so, what's your sort of version of that look like? And do you ever go to those lists? Maybe that's an unrelated but related question. Do you ever find yourself in those lists, like going, what neat things are on Amazon that everyone's buying right now?
There's so many fun directions we could take with this. First of all, do you ever feel spendy? Yeah. For me, it's called depression. And I want things that I don't currently have because maybe they'll make me happy. I also think it's funny that you're like, I couldn't possibly think of what I want. So I'm like, I'm going to go out and read articles to show me things that I didn't know I needed. Like I have a note right now on my phone of when I am feeling spendy, the things I'm going to go get. And I regularly update this list. It's Corey's buy, want, need, Christmas, birthday, extra money list. And it just lives on my phone. Yeah, but it's also my way of doing the thing that our dad taught Dillon and I growing up was, if you think you want something, wait 2 weeks. And if you still want it, then maybe it's a good purchase. So that living document note on my phone is like my version of waiting 2 weeks to make sure that I still want it.
So what do you do when you feel that way? We'll use feeling spendy. That sounds nicer. So when you're feeling spendy, you just go to that list and go, this one and this one.
Yeah, like if it's less than $20, I don't have to ask Sherry. So if it's on my list and less than $20, it's coming to my house in 2 days. In that case, if it's over $20, I have to get special permission because there's a history of Corey's feeling spendy. Yeah. That's fun. That's really funny. So, well, I want Kendall's answer, and then Dillon, you need to be thinking about what trends are you seeing on these gadgety tech? Like you say, there's nothing interesting. I'm curious what trends you're seeing and why nothing's interesting. My guess is that it's because we're trying to over engineer things and make everything Internet of Things like that doesn't need to be. Kendall, over to you.
I don't feel generally spendy, and therefore I go and look to spend money. But I certainly I certainly have times and moments where I get. I think like a lot of it. We talked about this when we were talking about middle age crises for guys. I get into a thing, right, and then like I want to do the thing correctly, and so that leads into some issues of spending. Um, but no, I generally don't seek things out, but I do see a lot of the same kind of like tech videos and that kind of thing, especially this time of year, like turn of the year. A lot of like YouTube channels and stuff are like throwing out there like top 25 EDC pocket knives and pens and things. And so I see
2026 revised episode.
Right. Exactly. Or I've had it for a year. What do I think of it?
Yeah.
And then they have like 5 things that they've had for a year. And then sometimes that convinces me that I want a thing, but I rarely get pulled in on that stuff unless it matches a hobby that I'm already into.
But even with the EDC thing, you said the best. I know you were just quick example, like the best new pens and knives, but they're still pens and knives. Like, has there ever been a we never thought to carry this every day, but boy, are we going to now? Like a new item or a new gadget.
When I first started getting into like everyday carry stuff, yeah, I was getting ideas from them that like I never thought of, but yeah, I could see myself using that. The biggest one for me that I still carry and still outside of my pocket knife is like the one thing that I would not, I'll never not carry again is a dedicated flashlight. It is so much more handy than using the flash on your phone. So much more useful than that. That I won't go back. So that's one. It had never occurred to me. I had always thought like everybody else did. Like, why would I need a flashlight? I have a flashlight on my phone now. Everybody does. But then like they convinced me to try it, and I tried it, and now I'm all about it. So
Kendall over here all mature because his dopamine hit comes a different way than it does for us. I get it though. Like your version is like the rabbit trail of the decisions and looking the options and when you're ready for a thing. Like that's where you get into your
there is still a financial irresponsibility there. It's just a different it comes about differently is what I'm getting
Yours
at.
looks like mature research before you buy. Corey's is a note on his phone and mine is Amazon items that won't ship in 2 days that I'll wait 7 to 10. So your question was what I'm seeing. Yeah, I think the over engineered thing probably explains it pretty well. It's like everything needs a battery in it. You know, it's like here's hand warmers that have a battery, and here's, you know, gloves that have a camera on it, and here I don't know. It's like there's solutions for problems that don't exist kind of thing for people that just have the money to buy it. And there's always your version of a note on your phone. There's always a version of that at lego.com for me. So I can go there if I really want to as well. But it's like I also am old enough to know the kind of things I'm going to probably use. So like it's easy for me to scroll through a list of 30 of the coolest tech items for 2026 and be like, I won't use any of those things. That's fine. I know they exist. It's neat. I think I'm also pretty good at like, that's the kind of thing I'd never own. I'd never buy myself. But if I need a gift item of somebody else's spending it because they want something that I wouldn't buy myself, then sure, I could come up with some things. But I'm like, I wouldn't. So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of. I'm also very aware that everything with a battery that's not a replaceable battery is trash in 3 years. everything that's Internet of Things that's made by a company who sucks at software, which is almost all of them, is trash in a couple of years. So I'm being harsh. Obviously, it's not that bad, but you get my point. Like, if you have a smart fridge and Samsung quits doing updates in 2 years, it might or might not work anymore in 2 years. So I'm just very wary of like the Internet of Things stuff from my past tech life of like, you need somebody that you trust to support it for a very long time, which companies aren't often in the business of supporting things for a very long time. So I'm also cautious of those. I don't get sucked into the gimmicky, if I need your specific app to run this niche thing, you're not going to still have that app in 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's probably why those lists don't work as well. Maybe I should look at kitchen gadgets that aren't IoT, internet connected
and aren't single-use kitchen gadgets, because Kendall and I agree they're the worst.
Yeah.
And they just clutter up your kitchen.
One thing that I'm not convinced is it's single use, but I'm not convinced it would be a bad choice, or some of the rice cookers out there. I feel like that could be a pretty good single use thing, because you can get one of those bad boys with the little steam spoon that they use. And I think that could be a pretty good single use item, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who swear by them, but like, I mean, we cook rice relatively regularly, and it's not hard. I don't know.
No, I think it's just the right temp and steam and pressure, and I don't know. See, I'm not sold anymore.
So 1-to-1 on the water and the rice. Rinse the rice first, and then put it on the stove. Put it on high. When it comes to a boil, put it to low. Put the lid on it. 15 minutes, stove off. 10 minutes, done.
Yeah.
The whole time is just like, at 15 minutes, you have something to do. Turn the stove off. And then at 10 minutes, you have something to do. Get the rice out of the pot.
But do I think it would be better in a rice cooker? Is the question. Would it be demonstrably better rice
Than a rice cooker?
In a rice cooker versus a normal pan?
I don't know. Listen, I think I'm on the minority on this one, because like there's a lot of people, again, watching like the Asian cooking videos. It seems like the majority of them are saying just use a rice cooker. And the whole time I'm avoiding it, because I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the way I make rice.
I know that's part of my dilemma. I need people to weigh in if they use rice cookers and they're listening. If this isn't non-rice based cultures trying to tell me that I should get a rice cooker. These are people from heavy rice use cultures saying that these are great.
Yeah.
That's why I'm conflicted.
What I need is someone who like made it on a stove, switched to a rice cooker, and said, I'm never going back to cooking it on the stove.
Right.
That's what I want to hear from those people. And then like I would still question those people. Like, I'm like, are you sure, or are you absolutely convinced?
Do you know how to cook anything else?
Yeah. Or is it just like everybody else is telling you to get a rice cooker, and so now you sold yourself on it before you even bought it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I had to step away to go ask Sherry a question about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of food modifications, she's been cooking rice in chicken broth.
Uh-huh.
Bro, game changer. It's so flavorful and good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Dude, you can do whatever you want.
You can cook rice and like use like enchilada sauce. Cut the water with enchilada sauce to make like Mexican rice.
Oh, it's so good. The flavor. I mean, I could just eat. It's not good for you, the enriched or the minute rice or whatever. I could just eat that by itself. The white bleached, whatever. It's just so good to me. But something about the chicken broth is like, especially with chicken dishes, it's
right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Fun. We'll be right back, Middlers, with more fun things for the back half of this episode. But first, we thought you should listen to our friends in Odd Pods Media talk about their show and why you should listen to them from time to time.
Hey there. I'm Dave, the host of Beer in Front. Sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. I'll talk about some old school beers that maybe you've forgotten about. some new beers that have the potential to be a classic. I'll also talk to various people around the beer world and get their stories all about beer. That's Beer in Front, and it's available on all of your favorite podcast apps.
If you like fun, then you're gonna love the Beard Owl podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And frankly, we talk more about Weird Al than anything because he's the gift that keeps on giving. So join us as we talk through Weird Al's career, what he means to us, and we have some very special guests on to discuss the magic that is Alfred Matthew Yankovic. Beard Al, part of the Odd Pods Media Network.
We were aware of Corey's adventure into chopped sub sandwiches.
Do you like how we played it off, Middlers? Like it was the first time I was springing the question on them. Nope. We had already texted about it.
Yeah.
You've been played.
You've been played. But it got me thinking about sandwiches, which I often think about sandwiches. And I looked up a few different maps. One of which, well, I'll just go through a couple of them here. One of them is the most famous sandwich from every state. So this is a national perspective of like when we think of that state, this is the sandwich that we think they're famous for. And obviously when that happens, you zero in on your state. And I have never heard of the one from Ohio.
Son of a...
This is going to be fun too, because we're probably going to have stereotypes.
Probably.
like the Frisco for California. And they're like, we don't eat those. Things like that.
And I have some questions. It reminded me of when we were talking about years back, we were talking about Thanksgiving dishes and the same kind of thing, like looking at a map of Thanksgiving dishes. Right. And I was very surprised to find out that either one of you or both of you didn't even found it unbelievable that in Ohio, like green bean casserole is a popular thing.
Gross.
And I'm like, it's been like family, like church get together Thanksgivings that like green bean casserole has always showed up. The Polish boy.
Oh, the po' boy.
Cleveland.
It's not the same thing as it's not a po' boy.
It's not?
Po' boy is Southern, right?
Oh,
yeah.
That's
the Polish boy.
What is a Polish boy?
It's a Cleveland sandwich, right?
I don't know. It showed up on this list, and I think it's just a Polish sausage hot dog. I don't know if it's topped in any kind of special way. I was hoping that one of you would be like, "What are you talking about?" Or like maybe it's a Northwestern Ohio delicacy that I'm not aware of, but Dillon is saying Cleveland.
Yeah, here's what Google says. The Polish boy is a signature Cleveland, Ohio sandwich featuring a kielbasa sausage in a bun topped with French fries, barbecue sauce, and coleslaw, sometimes with hot sauce or cheese added. This is just what Primanti Brothers does, but with meat, or a sausage instead of meat. It's the coleslaw and French fries on bread with meat of choice.
Okay.
But in a hot dog form. I mean, that's
interesting.
Fine. Yeah, that's a Cleveland thing. I don't know.
I was hoping to see, and this is something that like a lot of people look at me side-eyed with, but like I feel like in central rural Ohio, the shredded chicken sandwich is a thing that just kind of shows up everywhere.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, even like outside of central rural Ohio, have no idea what it is you're talking about.
Really? That's uncommon.
I think it's also pretty common in like Indiana and other parts of the Midwest, but it's just like pockets.
It's very regional. Yeah. I've talked to plenty of people like in born and raised central Ohioans who have no idea what a shredded chicken sandwich is.
Wow. I agree. I think it's a rural thing. Interesting. I mean, is that because like, I feel like if you're going to do that, then you can also do the Cincinnati Skyline hot dog. Cause
that's where I was going to go.
Like if we're calling the Polish sandwich a sandwich, then Cincinnati's thing is a sandwich.
Yeah, we're certainly like Wisconsin. It's a bratwurst, so it's a hot dog's a sandwich in this list.
Okay,
like
so
the
what does it say that we're in our 40 or close to 40 or in our 40s? Some never even heard of it. Not one of us has had one.
No.
right.
So, but I still love these maps. So please keep going. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to devalue the exercise.
No, I love the discussion, but I would like sometimes you have to separate in these things. Just like a state is big enough and has enough population, the state has enough cuisine. Ohio kind of needs that with the three C's. Like you'd almost need a Cleveland sandwich, a Columbus, and a Cincinnati.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or
Fair.
maybe even Columbus isn't even on the map. Maybe you just got Cleveland with its sandwich, Cincinnati with the Skyline hot dog, and then like it's a region. There's a regional thing. I don't know.
Yeah. And then
This is
for
fun.
Michigan, it says the Detroit ham sandwich, which again, I have never heard of. I've spent a lot of time in Detroit. And so it's another one that I'm not sure. But then other ones like Indiana's the pork tenderloin sandwich, which is, yeah, that's definitely an Indiana thing. Texas is a brisket sandwich.
Get it?
I totally get that. I'm curious as to whether the sandwich is actually that big of a deal in Texas, or is it just like Texas brisket? That's probably their sandwich.
Mhm.
So many of these are just things that just kind of make sense, or I can't really speak to.
What are the
Trout sandwich
surprising
in
ones?
Wyoming?
Oh, there we go. Try it. Trout.
Sandwich in Wyoming. Colorado has something called the Fool's Gold Loaf. Let's see here. Burnt end sandwiches. Oh, South Dakota. This is the most interesting one. Pheasant salad sandwich.
No, that can't be the most popular sandwich for the whole state. It
The
can't
most
be.
famous sandwich from South Dakota.
It can't be. I don't believe that.
From Sodak.
I don't believe
Okay,
that.
this is like our version of shredded chicken. Like if you look at the consistency of it, and even on the last one that you said, the trout one,
Yeah.
it looks like they're like chopping it up into like a shredded chicken or like a
they're making
tuna.
a mix. They're making like a
Like a
salad
mix.
mix kind of thing.
So
Yeah.
like that's pheasant salad, and then I'll do the trout trout sandwich. Sounds
All right. So I asked Google AI overview what sandwiches plural are Ohio known for. And it said, here are some of Ohio's signature sandwiches. Polish boy, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Fried bologna sandwich,
Yeah.
statewide. Shredded chicken sandwich, apparently also known as a sloppy bird.
whoa,
Never heard sloppy
never,
bird.
never.
Yeah.
That's what it is now. Okay.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, a comforting sandwich with a savory gravy like shredded chicken filling, similar to chicken pot pie.
Yeah.
No,
Basically,
no.
3 ingredients and you can have it down in a crock pot. Like it's got to be cooked in a crock pot to be done right, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, shredded chicken breast. It can be canned or it can be cooked and then shredded, and then cream of chicken soup. And like a whole bunch of crumbled up Ritz crackers. That's the recipe.
Nice.
Topped with, and we can debate this. I'm very curious to hear you guys' toppings. I like a
Nothing.
good crispy dill pickle and some mustard.
That's
some
fine.
yellow mustard.
I've never topped one before.
You just eat them plain.
Yeah.
What kind of bread? On a
plain
bun?
is fine.
Sandwich
On a bun. It's got to be a cheap hamburger bun.
Yeah.
Or in a tortilla. Either way is fine.
It's tortilla. Omelet, probably.
Omelet. It would definitely omelet. Why wouldn't it? I tend to be mustard. I don't usually do pickle. I tend to do mustard. The last two are steak sandwich, which is really just a Philly cheese. It says spots like Wario's. These are loaded with shaved steak, onions, house whiz, provolone, and mix of peppers. That's a Philly cheesesteak. And then it says Italian subs in Cleveland. So, there's the list from Google.
Going back to our disagreement with the first suggested sandwich, we've also, not one of us, heard of the term sloppy bird. So
Give me a sloppy bird.
Yeah.
I've never heard that term ever.
wow, that's gross.
So-
Okay, back to Kendall's map. Are there any other standout or interesting ones?
What I want to point out is a couple of other maps that have slightly different titles. So this one is the best sandwich. So not most famous, but the best sandwich from every state.
Okay.
Once again, Ohio is the Polish boy.
What the heck?
And I'm looking at these things, thinking, what are these? There's the United States sandwiches. So the United States, this one's a graph. United States in sandwiches, Ohio. Once again, the Polish boy.
There's
three
like
different sites with three
like
different titles. They're not copying from each other. Are telling you that the Polish boy is what Ohio is known for in the sandwich world.
Okay, here's what I think is happening. Somebody somewhere on the East or West Coast is writing an article, and they're like, what cities can you think of in Ohio? And everyone says Cleveland, so they Google it.
Yeah.
Most popular sandwich in Cleveland, Ohio. And
That's
then
gotta be.
That's what they can't think of the names Columbus or Cincinnati. They don't remember it. They think of Cleveland, the only one.
But then when I look at Michigan, like for the second list, Michigan's changed. It's a deli corned beef sandwich. And then when I look at Michigan for the United States and sandwiches, it's a Reuben. It's like they were changing among those three. Ohio stuck with that one, which I didn't get. Now there is one other list that I have, which is most searched sandwich by state. So this is presumably people who are living in that state who are seeking out this sandwich. And Ohio is gyro.
What?
That is the most searched sandwich in Ohio is gyro.
I got nothing against a gyro, but
I love gyros.
I honestly thought one of these lists somewhere is going to just be Sloppy Joe. And I can't, I thought
Sloppy Joe made it for some states, just not Ohio.
See, that surprises me. I could see shredded chicken or Sloppy Joe, even a meatloaf sandwich. I could see somebody slapping meatloaf on a bun and being like, meatloaf sandwich.
Hey, Bob Evans does it.
That's what I'm saying.
God bless him for it.
Yeah, I can't, or even like a roast beef sandwich or something.
Michigan's most searched for turkey sandwich. That's simple. Turkey sandwich.
If we didn't entice you to join our YouTube with the described hand gestures from before, seeing how upset Dillon is getting right now, he's moving around in his chair. I don't know that I've ever seen him this animated. Strong feelings here. I love it.
Anytime we talk about food, I'll have strong feelings. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. You know what I mean?
Did egg salad make any egg salad?
Egg salad. Let me look.
Honestly, any salad sandwich, like egg or ham or whatever the other ones are that I don't eat.
Egg salad sandwich did make a list. Let me see if I can find that.
Tuna salad.
Alaska. Most searched. Egg salad sandwich.
Could it? Is it probably a Google, most Googled, right? Or most searched?
Yeah, most searched.
It's just, if you figure, Columbus is a bit of a melting pot and people are Googling how to say hero.
It could be.
Type of a situation. What's with all these food trucks popping up with these gyros?
Listen, maybe that's a thing. Maybe we take it for granted, the fact, or don't realize that you can't drive a half mile without running into a gyro joint here. Is that specific to us? Is that not everybody else's experience? I could throw a rock and hit 3 gyro places, it seems, from where Gahanna, small town of Gahanna. And off the top of my head, I can think of 3 gyro places.
The thing that people, when I travel, get annoyed with me reminding them is that Columbus, especially, is a perfect microcosm of the nation in many ways that you can slice the population. Sex, color, creed, blah, 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 blah. If you take all those ratios and shrink them down to a population, Columbus is about perfect, which is one of the reasons that it's a test market. So maybe it's one of those things where we actually have a pretty diverse set of foods and cultures coming in, bringing their foods, and gyros is one of them, maybe.
Yeah, and different chains trying different things.
I don't know.
There's a good chance that we had the Arby's gyro before anyone else did, because Arby's was trying it out here.
Taco Bell tried breakfast here before they tried it on a
I
national
was going to say, a
scale.
lot of people don't believe me, but like I remember Wendy's breakfast like 20 years ago.
Oh,
They
I didn't realize it was that long.
they carted it out here. I was still working at the marathon station, like relatively fresh out of high school. Within a few years of high school, they tried it for about 6 months here, and then it went away. And then eventually it came back, but like nationwide, it came back.
This is fun.
I'm also surprised does anyone just have like hamburger, cheeseburger?
That is a good question.
That would be
there's a lot of like regional burgers. There's a Juicy Lucy burger in Minnesota. There was which
Like as a widespread thing, or like one restaurant is famous for this.
I've heard of the Juicy Lucy burger. I think it's a regional style, kind of like the Oklahoma onion burger is like an Oklahoma thing, but we're all aware of it now.
Okay. The Juicy Lucy. Hello. Talk about food porn. Good night. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There was
Butter's My Biscuit.
Butter's My Biscuit. There was where was it? New Mexico.
Patty.
New Mexico has the green chili cheeseburger. Which I've heard of that one too.
I would guess that Tennessee is the hot chicken sandwich.
Tennessee's most famous sandwich is not the hot brown.
Kentucky's the hot brown.
Yeah, hot chicken sandwich, Tennessee, most famous.
Kentucky's probably the hot brown.
Right? Yeah, Kentucky's the hot brown.
Yeah. Yeah, the hot brown is definitely a Kentucky thing. Interesting. So some regional burgers, that's fair. So we joked about California getting a Frisco burger. What were California's?
California, most searched was turkey sandwich. There were quite a few states who most searched was that. Best sandwich in California is the Avocado Club sandwich.
Knew it. I was gonna say it before you pulled it up. I'm like, they're gonna smear guac or avocado on something.
They always do.
That's gonna be their favorite.
Most famous is a French dip.
Oh, I can get on board with a good French dip.
I do too. And then the official sandwich, not like government decided, but United States in sandwiches. This one lists California as that. This one also agrees with French dip.
Can you imagine the civil war that would erupt if we had to decide national dishes in each of the major category?
Ooh.
Like national pizza toppings and style, national sandwich, national dessert.
I just Googled before you started that sentence. Is there an official sandwich of the United States?
Yeah. Are there any official foods for the United States of any kind?
Just birds and trees and animals per state. No, that's by state.
A favorite bird is also a favorite meal if you believe in yourself.
Because we all got sloppy birds.
I don't really.
Well, some of us have sloppy trout.
I really don't want a shredded chicken if we're calling them sloppy birds.
That's
Lucy.
I will take a Juicy Lucy though.
You're dripping everywhere.
Okay.
Well,
that's
yeah. You know what my goal in life is to find the line and then cross it.
You found it.
Found it. Well, this was a fun exercise.
Oh man.
I have other things, but I don't know how to segue.
Hard pivot. We can just start yelling hard pivot in the middle.
Hard pivot.
Hard pivot.
I bet a lot of these, search results from the discussion we've been having are AI driven. And I just learned that Google Docs has a really fun. I've been doing some writing for a project, and Google Docs has their Gemini AI powered tools. Mm-hmm. And one of them is to have the document read back to you what you've written. And there's like a selection of 5 to 10 styles. So one is like a lower tone, a little more like a teacher, or one is like charismatic, medium tone, and one is like It was like teacher, coach, enthusiastic, and like it can read back to you in these different voices. It's not just
Yeah.
male, female, or whatever, but just like, and it was a really good exercise in seeing how you write. And sometimes, you read inside your head and you only hear yourself reading it. So you can't pick up on what your grammar or punctuation mistakes until you hear it in another voice. I just didn't know if you guys had ever played with anything like that. And if you have an inside reading voice, and if yours is an old British woman like mine is.
I do have access to ChatGPT and Gemini. I've never had it read anything. I want Morgan Freeman or I send it back.
That's
I would potentially settle for a few other voices, but
James Earl Jones.
At the top of my head, Morgan Freeman, James Earl Jones would be good.
Yeah. Nick Offerman.
Who might have a good narration voice. Nick Offerman does have a good.
He has some sleep stories on the Calm app where you can have Nick Offerman read bedtime stories to you. We've talked about this. It's lovely. And I think that Amazon's device, I won't say the word because or else mine will go off, for a time had Samuel L. Jackson with cuss words included. So when you asked the weather, it was Samuel L. Jackson telling you what it was. It was pretty great.
Wonderful.
You know who, speaking of the reading voice, there's a funny clip of Michael Bublé's on a talk show with Matthew McConaughey and Graham Norton. It's a Graham Norton show. And Graham Norton connects the dots, as he often does, that Michael Bublé listens to Matthew McConaughey at night in bed. And Michael Bublé listens to Matthew McConaughey reading stories. And so he's doing this, explaining how, it disturbs his wife because Michael Bublé is like listening out loud. But I was going to say, I think Pedro Pascal would have
that's a good one.
A really good narration voice if he doesn't have it already.
The little cold you've got going on makes me want you to come over.
Maybe I have a good reading voice. This is my new singing voice. I'm going to try like Phoebe does in Friends and record some stuff. I wish this was all the time. This would be great if I could talk like this.
Pull that off.
Yeah, I can't. Too squeaky. So anyways, no, I'm going to have to try it out. I use Gemini a lot though for work. And to write.
It was like an 11-page document I was writing based on some things other people had written. And I was compiling it all and trying to give it a narrative top to bottom. And I was really lost in it. I had spent so much time with it that I was like, listen to this document. What is that? Clicked play. And it just started. And I was also very surprised at how non-robotic it sounds. Like we just keep these models keep getting better and better and better. Learning models, not and so they're sounding more and more human. And this is a great conversation. So I've told you guys how like my middle daughter was using ChatGPT for debriefing her cross country runs and stuff, and how it was learning her like the way that she speaks, and it can tell that she's a teenager, and it's probably talking back to her in that fashion. Sherry's getting frustrated that I'm talking to ChatGPT the way that I am. Like, I won't just ask it a question. I'll say like, my wife and I are sitting down to try to find a show to watch. And the thing I told you before, how I'll use it, like, these are the shows I like. These are the shows she likes. Match that with like the most critically acclaimed. And she'll be like, why did you have to say that we're sitting down to watch a show together? Because it'll start with, oh, it's so nice you guys are having some quality time. And she hates that so much. She's like, you're giving it extra information.
Don't humanize it.
And I'm like, no, the more I talk to it in conversational English, the more that it's going to be a better product for me to use later and for others to use later. So I'm going to be more conversational with it. Because it's like I played it back to you guys the other day and it's doing like ums and ands and like it's being very, very, very conversational and human, and it just drives her crazy.
That's funny. That's also like, I think for most of us, the easiest way to use it is to just learn how to just talk to it, right? Instead of having, because if you have to think of it like like some other kind of algorithm that you have to like input ifs and ands and if then statements and things like that, then it becomes difficult to think about what you should say versus I'm just going to say what I would say.
I think one of the most impressive things, to your point, not trying to be so prescriptive about what I ask it to do, is that sometimes it produces the thing that I asked and says, would you also like me to create this, this, and this? And I'm like, I never would have thought to ask for those things. Yes to all of those. Make all of them. And then 2 follow-up questions for Corey. First of all, did you name Gemini Lucy? Second, when you decided to include the detail 11 pages, were you feeling proud about that part and that's why you wanted to include it? Or it was just that like popped into your head? It was just like an 11-page thing, no big deal. So
I threw it in to paint the picture that I was getting in the weeds of my own document, and it was just a lot of content, and I needed somebody to read through it. And I thought it might impress you that
I felt like how I heard that come out was, so I was on my 900th page of rewriting George R. R. Martin's Winds of Winter.
And I do think you said 11th a little louder than the other words surrounding it.
So.
I think it was a little bit.
It's like when the girl walks by the guy and he's like 502, 503 for his pull-ups. This is a perfect segue into streaming because I'm using ChatGPT to get recommendations on the best method through watching through the Monsterverse series, the King Kong and the Godzillas with my son.
Yeah.
So that's been really fun because like us, we have strong opinions on if you're introducing someone to Star Wars, what's the best order to do that? We've had that discussion multiple times in multiple previous episodes. Similarly, there are some thoughts about the best way to watch through the Monsterverse. All of this and how we're using AI to read documents and make recommendations gets into my streaming because I thought it would be fun to watch through the Terminator series again, because I know there is now 6. And I think I had only ever watched through the first 3. And in having worked in tech for 10 years, people always make jokes about AI becoming Skynet and taking over and being Terminators. So many references get made in my meetings to Skynet and Terminator that I was like, I should really brush up on those and figure out how to watch through those as well, because there's a recommended order for those. So I've been watching through the Monsterverse movies with Caseman and then going back through Terminator. Terminator still holds up, man. Not all the graphics or effects, but like the storyline and like exactly some of the stuff we're talking about now is some of the questions that are being debated with artificial intelligence and how it works. But I'm excited to watch the newest 3, the last of which is, I think, a reboot of the first 2. So it's reimagining the first 2 if it went a different way. And Arnold is in 5 of the 6. He just appears as like a CGI hologram, I think, in the one that he's not officially in. But anyway, so that's what I'm streaming.
Yeah, I think Dillon might be.
Dillon's gone
his
again.
guts out or something. Don't know. He disappeared. I will say that again. I've been watching sports, but it's been. I feel like the sports content lately has been rich. Like, for college and NFL, like especially if you're able to step out of your own team's success or failure, it's been a remarkable both college football end of year season and NFL playoffs are fire right now. Like we're talking like it seems like every game is coming down to a 2-minute drill and upsets and close calls, and it's just been so much fun to watch. I mean, Mendoza had just a career of a lifetime, a season of a lifetime, a game of a lifetime when he needed it, the play of a lifetime when his team needed one. The national championship game. Congrats to Indiana. What an accomplishment for them. What a story that is for them. But holy cow, that was so much fun to watch. And I mean, the Patriots of all teams are back all of a sudden. And not only back, but right now, I haven't looked, but could be odds on favorite to win the Super Bowl at this point again. It's been a fun sports season. Basketball starting up, which I've been getting into again for the first time in a while, and hockey is going, which I'm always into.
It's funny you say that. I have two comments on how good things have been. I just saw this. Do we still call it a tweet? Tony Castricone said a two-star quarterback scrambling for potentially the national championship winning touchdown on fourth down in his hometown against his hometown team after winning the Heisman for the most losing program of all time, while his mother with MS screams for joy from her seat, is possibly the limit of how good sports can get.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I was tired at the end of that game, and the rest of the family's in bed. And but I kept watching only because I wanted to see them interview him, because watching that kid go through emotions is fun.
All of which I missed because of the first thing you said. You said, if you're able to get past how well, like other sports commentators have said how unrealistic expectations are from this town for Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I like to think that I'm not that extreme. I do not think the Ohio State University men's football football team will win the national championship every year. I don't have that expectation. I understand there are such things as rebuilding years. I understand that there's going to be seasons, and I don't mean just literal annual seasons. I mean chunks of seasons strung together where we're bad, not good, and rebuilding. So I get all of that. And at the very same time, it is also true that I have gotten weary watching our team play a certain way throughout the season and then just crapping the bed and not playing well toward in the postseason championship run, bowl games, whatever. That's become a frustrating thing for me to watch. I don't mind when a better team beats us. I don't like when I see us beating ourselves or not showing up the way we've shown up for the majority of the season. And so I stopped watching. When we lost our last, I was just like, I don't care. I'm good to just not watch any more college football. So I get that I'm missing on everything I just read from that tweet. But it just, speaks to my immaturity. But I was like, I can't do it. Sherry's really been enjoying the NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
She's told me a little bit about it. I know there's a lot of good stuff on. I just figured I would switch my attention to seeing Formula One stuff that's coming out for next year, ramping up to next year.
Yeah.
So I feel like I try to be balanced and centrist about it, but that's what I chose to do this year.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I get it. I mean, we all, depending on what the thing is, right? We all tend to find ourselves in echo chambers, whether or not it's intentional or whatever. I totally understand that. And the regional talk for any team with anybody who has like a Heisman hopeful, for example, there's a good one. Every home base, you have a lot of people who are absolutely convinced it has to be their guy. And if it's anyone else, then the whole thing was rigged.
Right.
Right. And so I get it. I understand.
Well, I don't know if Dillon's coming back, but it was a really fun episode talking mostly about sandwiches. I hope he gets feeling better. Dillon, if you can still hear us, we love you. Hopefully you didn't listen to this episode on an empty stomach. If not, you now know which states to visit for whichever sandwich sounded best for you. Kendall, thanks for joining. It's good seeing your smiling face again, as always. And Midlers, we would love for you to tune in again next week for another great episode where we hopefully won't make you hungry. Maybe we'll just make you thirsty. That sounded bad, depending on the definition. Thanks, Artius Man, for your sponsorship. They make amazing men's grooming products, beard balms and oils and skincare products and great stuff for your face and beard. You should check out all that stuff. It's really great. Go to their website. That's artiusman.com, artiusman.com. Use promo code the middle at checkout. Enter the middle, all one word, all caps in the promo box, and you'll get 25% off of your very first order. All subsequent orders will get attached to us for a trifecta of winning situations. They win, you win, we win. It's good for everybody. They're naturally made. It's a good local company right here in Central Ohio. And I know Jeff over there would appreciate your business, and we would appreciate the little tiny kickback that we get. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great week. Take care of one another. Bye.